Alright guys, BLM here, back with a new video. In this video, I'll be talking about who I would cast on a season of Big Brother Second Chance. And I've been wanting to do more Big Brother casting videos. The problem with them is that it's just so unlikely that we're going to get a Big Brother All-Star season. Just a general one in the future, let alone any sort of themed ones. But I still think it's a fun topic to talk about. And I feel like a Second Chance season is probably one of the more realistic ideas that I could see them potentially doing, even though, again, probably will never happen. So for this cast, I try to make it as semi-realistic as possible. I didn't go 100% realistic, as again, I mean, to be fair, this is never happening, but I at least wanted to make it a cast that I could actually see Big Brother putting together. Now, this will not include Celebrity Big Brother or people from BBOTT, as again, I just don't feel like they really count in the main series of Big Brother US. And again, there's no way they're bringing back someone from BBOTT for a televised version of the show, sadly. So this will be a 16-person cast, again, the typical size of your normal Big Brother cast nowadays. And I did put a limit of 4 people per cast. So final disclaimer here is, obviously, if you don't know, the theme of Second Chance, again, this comes from Survivor, but essentially people who didn't win their first time and haven't played again. So because of that, this will be kind of different from my original Big Brother All-Star cast, where a lot of the people on that cast were people who had already played for a second time. So this should be a bit more interesting, kinda. We'll see. But let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to be completely honest here. I didn't put anyone on the cast pre-All-Stars, and I wanted to. I really wanted to, but it's just there's no one that really fit the cast. I mean, BB1, I don't think there's anyone I would even consider, really. BB2, I mean, there were people that I would like a Nicole or a Hardy. I just don't think they want to play again. Bunky and Monica both have openly wanted to play again, but they just really didn't make the cut. I mean, I just feel like the casting pool of people that I want to see play again from Big Brother is so large at this point that there's not really room for people like a Monica or Bunky, who I think would be cool to see back, but aren't people that I necessarily want to see back. For BB3, I considered Amy, but the fact that she wasn't even considered for All-Stars, I don't know why they would really consider her now. Jason and Roddy, both of them I don't really see wanting to come back. I considered Dana from BB4, but again, it's been so long that it's she's not really a high priority. Cowboy is someone that production openly has wanted back over and over and over again. But again, the fact that he hasn't been back yet, I just feel like it's okay to let him go. Marvin would be really fun and didn't really put him on. From BB6, Yvette, April, Rachel, all 3 of them I considered but just didn't make the cut. So again, there were people I considered from these earlier seasons, just no one really made the cut for me. So we're moving on to BB8, where I put one person on the cast from this season, and I really wanted to put more. I considered Jessica. I think Jessica would have been a lot of fun. She was in consideration for BB11, but I don't know where she is now in terms of the Big Brother community, so I just left her off. And one of the bigger cuts for me, and one I really wanted to put on, was Eric Stein. And I really wanted to put him on. I think Eric Stein is someone that quite possibly might be one of the best players to ever play the game of Big Brother. At least his first time really demonstrated that he has the ability to play an extremely dominant game, but wasn't allowed to by production. I feel like if he was able to play again, I think it would be a lot more interesting. However, the reason I didn't put him on the cast is because, one, it's pretty clear that production doesn't really want to see him back at this point, but also the fact that I feel like Eric himself doesn't really want to play again at this point. That's kind of the sense I get from him on the Summer Stein and stuff, is that he's kind of out of it on playing Big Brother again, but I would like to see him back. I just didn't feel like he made the cut based on the field of people I had to work with here. But the person from BB8 that I did put on was Jen Johnson, and I don't know how likely it is that we'll get a Jen Johnson return at this point. It's extremely unlikely, but I do feel like she's someone that was a big enough character from these earlier seasons, and someone that's still on production's radar to a degree. I mean, she's someone that did show up at that 20th anniversary taping, and also someone that a lot of people still talk about. So I would like to see a Jen Johnson return. From BB9, I didn't put anyone. I would like to. I mean, I am a defender of BB9. I've said this before in my season ranking video. I like BB9 a lot more than most people. I think it has a pretty fun cast with people like James and Matt, and even Alex or Parker. I think it would be fun to see them back. They got really screwed over. I think the bigger contenders, though, are Sheila and Natalie, but really both of them just didn't make the cut. BB10, I put actually 2 people from this cast, and I think this is another part that's this isn't fully realistic. Again, Jen Johnson return, probably not going to happen. These 2 people that I put on here, probably not going to happen at this point. But they're both people that I want to see play again. And I felt like there were enough spots on the cast to put them on there. But for the people that didn't make the cut, Memphis was a big one. I really thought Memphis would be more of a contender than what he really was, but I just, there was no spots. Same thing with Brian Hart. I think Brian Hart would be a pretty fun, like, second chance story. Obviously, they wanted him back for BB11. That didn't really turn out there. I think a Libra return would be fun. A Rennie return would be fun. But the two people that I did end up putting on the cast were Keisha, obviously the 4th place person on that season. Again, another pretty big character. Decent enough player. I mean, not a great player by any means, but someone I would like to see return. Again, I don't think it's particularly likely at this point. I think at this point, she's pretty much all but forgotten from a production standpoint. I mean, she was, I believe, at the 20th anniversary. So, I mean, that's something, but again, I don't think she's really on their radar. But I would like to see her back. And I also put Michelle Costa on the cast. I think Michelle Costa is one that, again, another one that has a lot of potential. I think she could have been a decent player. And she also had a lot of fun character moments on the show. I think she's one that, again, I would like to see play again. How likely is it? Probably not. But I decided to put her on the cast anyway. Now, I didn't put anyone from BB11 on the cast, even though there were some contenders. I really wanted to put Kevin on the cast. I think Kevin is a really fun character and also a really good player. And just, he didn't make the cut. Again, it was pretty tough to get only 8 guys on this cast. So, again, Kevin didn't make it. Russell didn't make it. I love Russell as a character on that season. And he's someone that I would love to play again. I don't think Russell wants to play again, though. And also, again, just didn't make the cut anyway. And Ronnie is another one that, again, pretty big character from that season. It would have been interesting to see him return, but didn't make the cut. Now, from BB12, I did put one person from this cast on the cast, and I did greatly consider Lane. I think he was a really fun character, but again, not enough spots. But it really came down to Enzo and Matt. And I went with Enzo. I feel like Enzo is the more likely returnee from the brigade at this point in Big Brother history. I feel like he's someone that, again, is always involved in these like sort of reunions that they do. I just feel like Enzo is more on their radar than Matt, who, while I love Matt Hoffman, again, he's a great character, great, like, good player, very solid player, and a really fun personality on like RHAP and stuff. I just don't feel like he's on their radar as much anymore. So because of that, I decided to go with Enzo over Matt. From BB13, I didn't put anyone. And actually, I didn't put anyone from BB13, 14, or 15, actually. And there were some considerations. I think a Dominic return would be really fun. I just don't think that there's enough spots for him. There's really no one from BB14 that I really considered, as a lot of the bigger players there in like Dan, Ian, Frank, they're not eligible. So, I mean, who am I left with? Danielle Murphy? I mean, come on. And then BB15, I considered McCrae. I think McCrae is someone that's definitely on production's radar still, but do we need him? Not really. I think Judd would be a lot of fun. Judd is someone that I thought was a fine enough character and player on the season, but I thought he was really fun on Sequester. But again, in terms of Big Brother US, I just don't feel like he's on their radar anymore. Helen and Amanda are two that I would really like to see play again. I just don't feel like production's really incentivized to bring them back at this point. Alyssa is someone that I really considered and actually almost made the cut, but I decided to leave her off just out of personal preference, in my opinion, because like if I ended up putting her on the cast, I would have to cut someone like a Keisha or someone that I'll talk about a bit later, and to me, I would prefer them on the cast over an Alyssa, but realistically, I mean, probably Alyssa would be on this cast. But let's move on to BB16, where I did put 2 people from this cast on the cast, and there were a decent amount of contenders here. However, they were all male, actually. I mean, the only female from this season I think is worth bringing back is Nicole, and she was already brought back. So I think the male field here really dominated in BB16. So the ones I considered, I think Beast Mode Cowboy is someone that would be considered, but again, he was already on Survivor. I don't need him again on Big Brother. Frankie Grande is someone that would be interesting. Again, I don't hate Frankie as much as everyone else. I think Frankie's actually a very strong player, probably the second best player of that season. But again, for me, he didn't really make the cut. Zach would have been great, but again, I just don't know where Zach is in terms of production. I know he pissed them off a while back. Devin is someone that I would love to see back. Devin's one of my favorite pre-jury players of all time, but again, he just didn't make the cut. So the ones that did end up making it, I think the obvious one here is Donnie. I think Donnie is someone that is very clearly still on production's radar, someone that would come back if they did an all-star season. I just don't think they really had the opportunity to bring him back yet. And the other one is Cody. And I feel like Cody is there, not necessarily because he's a great character or anything, he's not, but I do feel like he's someone that has a great second chance story. Obviously, he lost because he took Derek to the end. If he took Victoria to the end, he more than likely wins. I think there is some debate there, but I do think he wins. But yeah, I just feel like he has a good second chance story, kind of similar to Wu in Second Chance of Survivor. I think Cody is kind of the equivalent there for Big Brother. So now moving on to BB17, where I again put 2 people on this cast. So again, I considered a couple other people. I considered Austin. He didn't make the cut. I considered Audrey. I think that would be fun, but again, didn't make the cut. Vanessa, I didn't put on the cast because Vanessa is someone that I don't feel like she wants to play again. And then mixing that in with the fact that she's having kids and all that stuff, I just don't feel like there's any incentive for Vanessa to play again. Liz is someone that I was very high on my Big Brother All-Star casting video. I feel like since then I've kind of gone down on it. I don't feel as confident about Liz anymore, especially because she was on the challenge and all that stuff and didn't do particularly well there. I do still think that there's a chance that we get a Liz return, but I never really felt like I needed it anyway, so I just decided to leave her off. But the 2 people I did put on the cast, I did put Johnny Mac. I think he's one of the bigger locks on the board from this season. I don't know how high of a priority he is for production, but for me, I would really like to see him back. Really fun character. Someone that I could see them bring back at some point. The other player is Shelly, and I feel like Shelly's someone that a lot of the like hardcore Big Brother fan base really likes and wants to see back again. I've never been exactly on that bandwagon, but I do feel like for a second chance sort of season, I feel like she has a good story. Again, the first time she got very wrapped up in the showmance with Clay, but even with that, she was still able to pretty much dominate that first half of the season. And I do feel like seeing her return would be interesting here, so I decided to put her on. From BB18, I actually didn't put anyone. I actually think BB18 has a pretty decent cast, but I think the problem with BB18 is that a lot of them have appeared on the challenge, and I think because of that, it makes me less inclined to put them on a second chance season of Big Brother. I mean, people like a Natalie and a Paulie have appeared on the challenge, so is the Victor as well, have all appeared on the challenge, and I feel like Paulie especially has become kind of a staple on the challenge to the point where I don't really see him returning to Big Brother at this point. Victor has also been on The Amazing Race, and I feel like it's more likely to see him be on The Amazing Race again than to see him on Big Brother again. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Michelle return, but it's like really at the end of the day, I'm really grasping for straws here, so I just decided to not put anyone from BB18. For BB19, there were, to be honest, a couple people I considered. I mean, like Kevin is someone that I consider. I just feel like Donnie takes a spot every time. Jason is someone that I think was fun enough on that season. Again, didn't really make the cut here, but someone I considered. Obviously, there's Cody and Jessica, but I just don't feel like they're very incentivized to play again. But I decided to put Alex on the cast. I know a lot of people hate Alex, and I did too. I hated Alex during BB19. I just thought she was a terrible player and just an annoying character. But I do feel like she's one of the most likely returnees from BB19. I feel like she's someone that production seemed to really like. So I decided to put her on the cast as I just feel like it's a realistic option. Now for BB20, where I actually have 4 people from this season on the cast, the only season I have 4 people from. But again, I just feel like BB20's cast is very strong. There are a lot of people I would really like to return. I mean, the people that didn't make the cut here, JC is someone that I would actually really like to see play again. I thought he was fantastic on the TV show. Again, he did some things that were not great on the live feeds, and because of that, a lot of Twitter absolutely hates him. But I do think in terms of him as a character and also him being probably the second best player of the season, I do think it would be warranted for a return, but I just didn't put him on the cast. I did consider people like a Fessy, Bailey, and a Swaggy C. However, the problem with them is that they're on the challenge, so I decided to just cut them. So 4 people that did make the cut here. I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty easy here. 2 females, 2 males here. We got Caitlin Herman. I think that's pretty easy. I feel like she's someone that's still in good standing with production. I don't really see a reason why she wouldn't be back for a second chance season. So for me, I thought she was pretty easy to put on the cast. The other one, Haley. I think Haley is another one that production very clearly liked. I think she's someone that has a lot of potential in the game, but never realized it within her season. I think a lot of that due to her just being too young. But I do think after a couple years, I do think she could be a very good player, and I would like to see her back again. Next person is Brett. I think Brett is, again, another really big character from BB20. I was actually very surprised he never made an appearance in BB21, but he was even talked about on the show from Kat. So it's like, I feel like, again, another person that is in good favor with production. I feel like another one that is very likely to return. And the final person is very obvious in Tyler. I think Tyler's the biggest lock to return. I think if the next time we have an all-star season or any sort of returnee season, 100% Tyler is going to be on there. I feel, unless he turns it down, which I don't think is even that likely either. I just feel like almost no chance Tyler is not on the next like sort of returnee season. But here we are. We're at BB21, the final season to talk about. We only have 3 spots left. Originally, I was going to put 4, but I decided to make some cuts here. It was actually kind of tough to cut some people here. So the people that didn't make the cast, I didn't put Cliff on. I just feel like Donnie takes his spot. So yeah, Sam was an interesting character. Didn't really make the cut. I didn't put Christy on. I think Christy was one of the tougher cuts there. I mean, to be fair, I think I could put Christy on over like someone like a Shelly or even someone like a Keisha. I would rather see Keisha and Shelly back, if I'm being honest. So even though Christy was a big character and a big player, I just decided to leave her off. And similar things with Kat. I feel like for Kat, it was between her and Jen. And while I do probably think a Kat return is more likely, I would rather see a Jen return, so I put Jen on. Now for the people that did make the cast. For me, I wanted to put one of the pre-mergers on there. And it was between Ovi and David. And if I'm being 100% honest, I think Ovi has a much better chance of returning than David. But I want to see David play. Like, I mean, we haven't seen David play. Like, he never actually got the chance to actually play the game. I feel like he has a very good, like, second chance story for a returning season. So I decided to go with David. I really like David. I think he could have been a really strong player on that season, but was just never given the opportunity to do anything. So I decided to put him on the cast. I think he would be a lot of fun. And then the other 2 are probably 2 of the more obvious people to return from this season. I decided to put Tommy. I think Tommy is someone that, again, production very clearly likes. Julie Chen seemed to really love him during his exit interview. I just feel like there's almost no reason for Tommy not to be on the next All-Star season. And the other one is, again, very clearly going to return at some point, is Nicole. Again, Nicole, fan favorite of the season, someone that, again, very well liked by the fans, and also seems like production likes her as well. No real reason to not bring her back. So that is my cast for Big Brother Second Chance. So running through the cast, once again, we have Jen Johnson from BB8. We have Keisha and Michelle from BB10. We have Enzo from BB12. We have Cody and Donnie from BB16. We have Johnny Mac and Shelly from BB17. We have Alex from BB19. We have Tyler. We have Brett. We have Haley. And we have Caitlin from BB20. And we have Nicole. We have Tommy. And we have David from BB21. So that is my cast for Big Brother Second Chance. Thank you for watching.